In this role, Micheal has been instrumental in advising and guiding municipalities on the effective implementation of the MPRA, providing technical insights that enhance capacity and improve compliance across KZN municipalities. Micheal is also dedicated to capacity building initiatives, sharing his expertise with municipal public accounts committees, audit committees, municipal CFOs, and finance officials throughout KZN. A round of applause as Mr. Micheal comes forth to the stage.
Thank you. Good morning, colleagues, friends. I would also want to say all protocols observed. I think the program director and my colleagues that stood before me have already said it all, colleagues. And I think I'm going to speak more from an implementation point of view, because we have grappled over time with the issue of development charges, and in particular within our province here in KZN. And there have been no law or legislation that governs the levying of development charges on developers in particular. So I think I personally had interactions with one of my municipalities on the north, where there's a lot of developments taking place in the Balito area there. And it was not very clear how they would actually resolve the charging of development charges for all the development that was taking place there. But therefore, I think we should welcome the amendment bill to the Municipal Fiscal Powers and Functions. And I think in particular, particularly in the context of our municipalities where there is inadequate funding for infrastructure development. And we also know that we have lots of service delivery backlogs in most municipalities. So, Program Director, I want to focus more. I think I've got 8 points that I have captured that I want to contextualize maybe to prepare municipalities in implementation of this legislation. And I want to start with my first point would be infrastructure development versus financial constraints. So the key question is, if we introduce development charges in municipalities, we know it's a new revenue stream. How do we play that balancing act such that municipalities do not overimpose this charge to developers to the extent that it may end up deterring development within the local municipality? So possibly my questions, or what I want to pose maybe to people in the room is, should there be a differentiated approach in the imposition of this development charge tariff? How can municipality then ensure that the implementation of the development charge doesn't disproportionately impact on small municipalities, even areas that are previously underdeveloped? So that's number one. And then there's also point number 2, which I would also want to maybe caution municipalities regarding the equitable application and avoidance of double dipping. So what happens, there are certain developments or infrastructure projects that are already funded. It could be funded by another sphere of government. And now, when a developer comes to your municipality, are you going to charge them again as a municipality? If you're going, how are you going to apply, if you're going to process or implement exemptions in that regard. So those are things that needs to be looked into. And then the equitable application of this policy. So for instance, we know the historical distribution of the historical inequity of development distribution within the country or within even a municipal area. So how do we leverage on the development charges to ensure there is equity distribution of development across the municipality, in particular underdeveloped areas of the municipality? So what role should we focus, or the other question now I have, should you as a municipality want to focus on poorer regions within your municipality where you're going to utilize your development charges? Then the third point I want to raise as well is sustainability. And colleagues, I know sustainability is one of the challenge that we have within municipalities because of lack of capacity. So once we start collecting development charges, the bill is very clear that if you do not utilize those funds for the purposes of providing those infrastructure that is required, the developer can request that money back. So now, given the capacity constraints within our municipality and the poor project management that is there, how do we then make sure that once we have collected those development charges, the projects that are supposed to be funded are then sustainable and are delivered on time? So those are some of the things that will need to be answered. And you could, as a municipality, should maybe consider public-private partnerships to fast-track some of the projects. How do you then improve project management and avoid development charges sitting unused whilst communities wait for the infrastructure? Then the fourth point, which I want to bring to the attention again, is the legal and administrative capacity within municipalities. So there's complex calculations that will need to be done to arrive at the charge that you're going to be charging. And there may even be contestations and appeals that will need to be dealt with. What is the capacity within our municipalities to deal with all those legal and administrative issues that this bill is bringing with? Then the question will be maybe should provinces like COCTA, provincial treasuries come in to provide, to build capacity? And I think that should happen. And then the fifth point, which I want to cover, will be the rebates and exemptions. The bill also speaks of rebates and exemptions. So how do you apply those rebates and exemptions? So the rebates and exemptions must be very clear in terms of the policy of the municipality. And we know that you also need to create a balance, because sometimes you can't just arbitrarily give rebates. There must be a balance between the incentivizing developers and the need for the municipality to be financially viable and deliver on those projects. So then the question is, what criteria should be applied by municipalities for those rebates? And in my mind, I was thinking, if I'm going to give a rebate, I would then maybe consider the economic development zone. I will also look into the nature of the project. maybe if this is a low-income housing project, should I give a rebate or an exemption? There also are the strategic investments where billions of monies are being pumped. So how do you then structure your rebate structure or criteria? Then the sixth point which I have is I want to touch on the transparency and accountability. I think that has been it's been emphasized, the need for public participation, the need to embed that process within the policies of the municipality so that you avoid issues which have been cited regarding, for example, the e-toll story. So how can municipality ensure public is well informed and consulted, and how development charges are calculated and spent? So the people need to know how you arrive at that development charge. So it can become part of your budget process annually. Like the way we publish our annual tariffs, we publish in newspapers, make it public, get people to come and comment, and let it get passed in terms of your normal budgetary process. So then that allows participation of public and engagement and contribution towards the how these charges are calculated. And then I think my last point, Program Director, would be the alignment of development charges with the broader special development within your municipality. So we know the legacy, the legacy in South Africa, where there's been inequity spatial development in various places, especially the previously disadvantaged areas. So my point will be, how can municipalities align their development charges with long-term spatial planning goals to correct historically imbalances to infrastructure development or infrastructure provision? So this development charge can actually be used to help correct those spatial differences that were there in the past. And then what strategies can municipalities use then to ensure development charges benefit underdeveloped areas and not just the wealthier zones within the municipality? How do we do that as officials of the municipality? So I think it all, when you're crafting your policy, your development charges policy, you have to think of all this and use it as a catalyst to spread development within your local municipality. I think that was my last point, Chair. Thank you very much.